Anger management. So are you trying to manage your anger? What does that feel like or mean to you when there's this idea that, say, you're upset, how you express yourself is not acceptable, and you have to find better ways to cope with stressors so your anger is managed so people like you, or you don't get fired, or your partner's not upset with you? Well, there's probably a chance that that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel authentic. And that when you are, say, angry, it is for a reason, even if you lose control. So let's talk about what anger really is. After working with 6,000 clients, I have found out that for the most part, when a person finally is angry and even pissed off, it is because they have not been able to break through a constraint, that they are feeling hopeless. And underneath a lot of that is deep sadness. So in time, it just builds up like layers and layers and layers to finally, when they do snap and are upset, it comes out as anger when still deep inside they're feeling sadness, disconnected, crushed, insecure. And the anger is just a mask. It is a mask covering years and years of possibly not feeling heard, seen, recognized. It might be years and years trying to change a negative pattern, but nothing is changing. So finally, when it comes out, of course, you are raising your voice and people see you as being angry. But what if anger was supported in our society with a better understanding, such as I'm sharing with you? What if anger was supported in a way where people understood that this still is a form of communication? As an example, children, when they have tantrums, more than often, it is because they don't feel heard, understood. Their needs are not being met. They want to be seen and recognized. Their survival counts on it. And just because we become older, adults, and so forth, it doesn't mean that survival mechanism changes. There is a way to manage your anger in a healthier way that would be more true to you. So the question I have for you is, how authentic are you with your communication, with how you communicate with other people, specifically when someone's crossing your boundary, when you are not truly, say, being yourself, you're being maybe more of a people pleaser, to where something truly bothers you and you don't express yourself. Maybe it's because you're trying to avoid a conflict. What I'm saying here is that more than often what happens is something is not going your way. And what will happen is that you'll push it aside. And if you communicate about it again and you don't get your needs met, there's a possible chance you just kind of say, go with the flow. But still, that need is not being met. That energy, that desire is still stuck in your body. And in time, it builds up, and therefore it will be expressed with anger, with you raising your voice. Another form of not being authentic, which many of us deny, is, say, you work a job that you really don't like, but you have to pay the bills. And so you're doing something you don't like on an ongoing basis. You feel stress in your body. You are attempting to put on a smile. And so finally, when you get home and you're with your significant other, or something else happens in your life that you don't like, well, where do you think maybe some of that energy comes from? From this inner frustration. Now, this doesn't mean to quit your job, but you're going to need some outlet, some person to communicate with, maybe a journal, maybe other healthier rituals that can tune you into releasing that, whether it's taking a walk or doing yoga, doing breath work, or talking to someone who can understand you. if you have a lot of pent-up energy and frustration in your body, sooner or later, it's going to show up as anger. So here's a helpful way to release your anger, to release the energy that builds up to maybe have you act out. In other words, we're not going to try to manage your anger. We're trying to understand it and maybe the root cause. Because if you understand the mechanism in play, meaning where it builds up and then you finally explode, then you can understand the sequence of how to eliminate that. So a great technique is to buy a journal and write out specifically the answer for these questions, such as, number 1, how happy am I in my life? Be honest. This is not to just write out all the stuff that you're upset with, but it's more to understand how real are you being in your life? Such as this is more to objectively express that, oh, I'm doing a lot of things I don't like, to these things frustrate me. Okay, so it's to get it out on paper and being honest. How authentically are you living your life and how much are you denying yourself? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, what action are you going to take? Such as, what steps are you going to make to change that for the better? Such as connect to someone to talk about this, to take more walks, to spend less time on Facebook or whatever else. Meaning that you now need to put into action healthy steps to release this way of building up this energy that's maybe pushing the anger forward. Number 3, it's what am I going to add to my life to help me feel lighter, to feel more joy? And it actually might be talking less to that one person who just takes all your energy and crosses your boundary. Or it might be where you give yourself more time to get to work. It might be where you allow yourself more self-care, to getting more rest and taking on less. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to my channel for more easy, simple life hacks. I'll continue to share more videos like this to help you through this journey called life.